Hi friends, today we all are here to learn something new about governance. Let's jump into the session. Okay, what is governance? In layman language or in simple words, we can say governance is nothing but set of rules or set of restrictions. Likewise, in UiPath also, we have some rules or restrictions to bring a level of control over some functionalities. Why? Why we need this set of rules or restrictions over some functionalities? Because to ensure that projects meet center of excellence compliance. To meet the organizational standards, we need governance in UiPath. Not only in UiPath Studio, but also in UiPath StudioX and Studio Pro, this governance is applicable. The current capabilities of governance is on Studio, StudioX, Studio Pro. Studio is nothing but development. StudioX for business purpose. Studio Pro is Studio Pro. We'll see why I gave this development business Studio Pro in a while. Okay, what governance in which functionalities it is putting some restrictions or some set of rules, we can say in activity usages and disallowing applications and websites, restricting access to some applications in the projects, only allow certain versions of activities to be used in our projects. Like that we will see. We'll have some rules in governance. Let's see why. To make sure that users are following organizational best practices. To meet the best practice in organizations, we use governance in our projects. Control your security. Control your security means we are putting some restrictions over some packages or activities. In some organizations, they will want to have only certain packages in their projects. They don't want to use custom activities or custom packages which user defined packages or third party application packages. So they put some security. They can have some control over not using such applications, such activities or packages in their projects. Restricting access to disabled application and websites. In some projects we can also restrict some applications and URLs or websites by using this governance. We will see how we can do in a while. Brings organizational standards using workflow analyzer rules. In workflow analyzer rules, we have many rules like variable length. How should a variable declare? Naming conventions, argument conventions. So many quality measures and reliable standards are taken in the workflow analyzer. It checks for inconsistencies without executing. We don't need to execute the code for analyze our workflow. We just need to analyze file. Rules are based on automation best practices, like variables and argument naming. We should not have any empty sequences in our workflows or empty workflows, package instructions and so on. This analyzer does not identify errors in execution or compilation, but it can say that we are missing something. We shouldn't have too many variables or too many arguments. We shouldn't use an empty if block. Several properties it can have. We can also enforce governance over several design and location settings. We can restrict this design options and location settings by using this governance. Coming to security, by controlling where user can install activities in their projects, we can control the user whether he have to install or not install the package in the projects. This means you have full control over every piece of code in your project. By using governance, you can leave it open or restrict. It's up to you. Organizations, but we have that option in governance. How we can put some restrictions on user over Studio. For that we have to generate a governance file from Studio first. On installation UiPath, add a UiPath policy file, that is nothing but governance file. We can easily configure the policies in governance file, and we can easily configure and we can applicable those configured rules on our Studio. This policy file has sections for StudioX and Studio Pro. Each section has separate rules. If we want to change in Studio, we have to go to the Studio section and we have to change over there. If you want to change something in StudioX, we have to go to StudioX section in governance file and we have to change it. Likewise in Studio Pro also. For example, we can set a policy to allow UiPath package fits but not custom or user defined packages. That means user can use only UiPath package and not allowed to use custom or user defined packages. How can we generate a file from Studio? To generate a governance file with your current configuration from Studio, go to the backstage view, help tag, and select generate governance file. Let me show you guys how to do that, how to generate. Here we can go to help, and if you see here we have generate governance file. If we click on this, it will generate a governance file. It comes with the name UiPath.policies. I will save it on the desktop. Save. Yeah, it got downloaded. If you want to see what is there in the governance file, I will open it with Notepad. This is how the governance files look like. If we have metadata, in that metadata we have version 1.0. This is major, we can call major version, 1 as major version and 0 as minor version. Info, name of my governance file is test policy. By default it is coming as test policy. Here if we see profiles, if you want to change the name also, we can change it. We will see how we can change it and enforce this to government file to our project in a while. Here we have profiles. In profiles we have different sections like development. Let me show you. If you see here, development, business and Studio Pro. These three profiles are available in a governance file. This is development file. Development file means this development section belongs to Studio. And let me search for business. Yeah, same set of rules are available for business also, but the only thing is if you want to change in StudioX, if you want to set some rules or government rules or policies over StudioX, you have to change configure only in this section, business section. Right now I am using Studio Pro, so I go to Studio Pro. I want to change. Here if you see Studio Pro, if I want to change anything, I have to come here to Studio Pro section and I have to change in this section only. Okay, let me show you guys. Share sample. If you see here, company policy is none. I want to change the name of the company policies none to something else. What I will do is I will go top, and here I can change test policy to automation and I'll save it. Okay, we'll see how we can change that saved file in a while. Okay, this is how a governance file looks like. We can also generate some manual. We can also generate same manually, not only from Studio. We can also generate a governance file creating manually with file extension must be .config. The extension of the file must be .config. The governance file would incorporate all or part of the capabilities we listed above. As we listed above, in the manual creation also we can have same features. The governance file extension is .config with the following name: UiPath.policies.config. If you see here, the same name we have, UiPath.policies.config. How? Okay. Enforce. How we can enforce? By using a local file. Now, just now I have downloaded the governance file from the Studio. That is how the local file we will change. Let me copy this and go to this path, star app data star UiPath. I will copy it here. Okay, I have copied here. Just now I have changed the name of the company policy none to automation. I will close the studio and I will open it again. If we go see here, the company policy name has changed from none to automation. This is how we can configure the governance policy. Likewise, we can change many things using the governance policy. Let's look over what are the features we have in governance policy. Let me go. If we see here, is feedback enabled? We have an option called send feedback in our UiPath. Let me show you that also. Here if you see, we have an option called send feedback to UiPath. Submit an idea for the product or report a bug. If your organization wants to restrict this send feedback button, what we can do is we can go to governance file. Here if you see, it is enabled, it is true. Is feedback enabled? True. Yeah, it is enabled. I will change it to false. Let's see what happens if I change it to false. Okay, I'll close the studio again. Let me open. If you see here, send feedback, it got disabled, governed via company policy. That means that our company don't want you to send a feedback to UiPath in your project. This is how we can govern company. This is how we can govern certain rules over your projects. We can also restrict usage of package feeds from the managed package window and backstage view, that is managed sources in settings. Here if you see, we can have multiple packages here. We can restrict all these packages also. And also if we see this in settings tab in managed sources, if you see, we have multiple default packages. We can restrict it from downloading. We can restrict user defined packages also by using the governance file. Actually Studio uses Nugget feeds to install activity packages. These feeds can be handled in two ways: application level and project level. In managed package, we can download multiple packages, that is project level. Fields are configured from managed package here in the ribbon button, here in the ribbon. And in the application level, we can download or uninstall, remove the packages from here managed sources tab. And we can also restrict users of workflow analyzer. Let me close this and open the notepad again. If you see here, my name got changed to automation. I have changed this to automation. Let's go through what are the available features in config file, governance file. Is feedback enabled? False. I have set to false, so we are not able to send any feedback now. Hide getting started screen. We can also give it as true. Source control, check in before publish parameter, allow it false. If you want to check in before publishing, you can set it to true. By default it is false. Workflow, default project language parameter, Visual Basic. You can also change it allow it is false. If you enable it is true, you can also change it. Like that, we have multiple options here. All the, if you want any certain, if you want to change the path, you can also change it here. This is how we can govern the govern the certain rules over our project. You have package manager, allow or add remove fields. By default it is set as false. If we change it to true, we can add, allow, remove the fields. Allow, enable, disable fields. By default it is true. Allow orchestrated fields, true. This is name, local. These are the feeds that are available in my studio. Let me show that also. Local, official, connect, name, Microsoft Visual Studio offline packages, nugget.org. Logger, this is the custom package which I have created. Name, message box, this is also custom package. AP logger, complex activities, these are the custom packages which I have created. We can also remove those packages from accessing the user or developer by changing it here. Let me show that also to you guys. If you see here, you can see same things here. Local, official, marketplace, Microsoft Visual Studio, nugget.org, logger, message box, AP logger, custom.activities. I can disable these activities from there itself. Let me show them. Okay, I want to disable logger. I'll give it as false, and also I want to disable this message box package. I'll give it as false. I will save it. I will close. Now let me reopen. If we go see here, I have removed the AP log. I have removed the logger package. That's why it is disabled here. Before we have seen the logger package here. Now it got removed. This is how we can govern certain rules, and we can also give certain rules on design panel. We can also give rules on design, general, and analyze file. Disconnect. By using just now we have seen how to change the policy. So in the governance file, and where can we have to store that governance file in this percentile app data %/UiPath. That is where I have stored my governance file. I have made modifications, and I have opened the UiPath Studio. Every time you open UiPath Studio, you will get a by default file, catchy file, uipath.policies.config.catchy file. If you delete this file, and when you reopen the UiPath Studio, by default it will be deleted. Let's see. Yeah, if you see here, it got deleted by default only. I am not deleted. If you open governance, we can say unless file is the key heart of the governance, because we can set multiple rules or certain restrictions in the projects, like empty use Outlook activities. We shouldn't use any empty Outlook activities without giving any inputs. Project workflow count, we can also give workflow count here. It is information. Check dot, if the .json file does not exist, it will show as error. We can change it to error warning, info, verbose, file activity states, higher arguments. We can set an argument count here. If it exceeded the minimum count, it will show an error. We cannot publish or run. It will show an error. Empty cache block. We should not have any empty cache block. It will show as an error. Multiple flowchart layers, hard-coded timeout. In activities, sometimes what we'll do is we'll give some timeout there itself. We shouldn't give like that. We should have to pass a variable. We should not hard code it. We should not have a empty workflow in our project. Variable serialization prerequisite. Delay activity usage. We shouldn't use delay activities in our projects. Too many delays that will make delay for robot execution. We are using RPA for faster execution. We should not use any delays in between. Not too many delays. Activity naming defaults. We should not have default names for our activities. We should change the name, and you have to give certain unique name. Nested if classes. You shouldn't have any nested if classes in your code project. We shouldn't have any empty sequence. All this we can configure in the configuration file also, and here also sometimes what user will do is he can configure here, and he will give empty sequences info. Instead of warning, he can configure it as info. So what we can do is we can restrict the user to change workflow analyzer settings here by changing the settings in governance file, as I showed earlier. We have to explore all the available features in the governance file, and we can change and we can play whatever like we want. We can put all the restrictions on the user. Okay, but we have seen how to change governance config rules by using a local file. Let's see how we can change by using an external file. By using an external file means you can use Windows registry or an orchestrator asset, and also using an orchestrator asset. We can in orchestrator asset we can use for a single user or for multiple user also. Let me show that. Yeah, in orchestrator what we have to do is, in our tenant we have to create a folder named uipath.settings.config. After creating uipath.settings.config, you have to go to assets, and there you have to create a new asset with uipath.studio.governance policy. I have already created it. Let me show you how I have created. I have created asset name as uipath.studio.governance policy, type as text, and I have enabled a global value, and whatever the content is available in here in our governance file. If you want to make any modifications and copy all this content and paste it here and update. This is how we can create an asset in the uipath settings.config folder, and this is how we can govern policies from orchestrator also. Here we can go add per user also. We can have multiple. If we have multiple users, we can control multiple users over single asset by assigning different governance policies to different users. This is how we can governance. By using all these governance policies, we can achieve organization standards to our projects. Benefits. If you go to benefits, governance brings organization standards to projects. Yeah, as I said, we can put some restrictions on what user can change, what are the things he can do, what are the activities he can work on, what are the URLs or applications he can work on. We can put some restrictions only to meet organization standards. Can bring studio to custom mode. Yeah, we can why I have said studio to custom mode means we can configure whatever we want in the governance file itself. and we have alternative ways to control the studio from different locations, from local file, from orchestrator asset. We have different locations to control the single governance file. Why we are doing all this means high quality and reliability standards. For high quality and reliability standards, we are doing all this. We are ensuring that UiPath project means center of excellence by governance, changing certain rules or putting some restrictions on governance. Only if project enforced with good design rules, we can say that yes, this project has met the organizational standards. Yeah, this is all about governance, guys. You can explore more features by downloading governance files and configuring it to enable features and disable features. This is it, guys. Thank you for watching. This channel is led by our UiPath community members and monitored by MVP Syed Pasha. You can be next tutor here. If you have really cool stuff to share, post your name in comment section. Our team will reach out to you. Till then, bye bye.